What if I told you that the foundations of our civilization, our technologies and our knowledge were the legacy of an ancient race of extraterrestrial beings? Sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, right? But for those who subscribe to the Anunnaki theory, this isn't mere fiction but a plausible explanation of human history. Today we're embarking on a journey to a hypothetical celestial body, the so-called Planet X or Nibiru, exploring the mythology surrounding the Anunnaki and their alleged influence on humanity. Planet X, more commonly referred to as Nibiru or the ninth planet, is a theoretical planet that's believed by some to exist on the extreme outer edges of our solar system. This concept isn't a new one. In fact, it has roots going back to the 19th century when scientists like Percival Lowell postulated the existence of an unseen planet to explain the irregularities in the orbits of Uranus and Neptune. However, the discovery of Neptune's moon Triton and further observations led to the dismissal of these theories. Fast forward to the 21st century, and the idea of Planet X has been resurrected, not as Nibiru, home to an alien civilization, but as a potential ninth planet in our solar system, a world perhaps 10 times the mass of Earth and as much as 20 times farther from the Sun than Neptune. The proposed existence of this planet. 9 comes from the strange clustering and distinct tilt of a group of high perihelion Sedna-like objects. These are distant minor planets that have orbits taking them hundreds, even thousands of astronomical units from the Sun. Scientists Konstantin Batygin and Michael E. Brown at Caltech presented strong evidence of this unseen, massive perturber in 2016. They noticed that a group of icy objects beyond Neptune, known as trans-Neptunian objects or TNOs, had odd orbits that appeared to be influenced by the gravitational tug of a larger, distant unseen planet. However, despite extensive searches and numerous candidate objects, this ninth planet remains supposedly unconfirmed. Some scientists propose alternative explanations for the TNO's peculiar orbits, such as the collective gravitational influence of a distant disk of icy bodies. Nevertheless, the allure of a hidden world in our own cosmic backyard continues to captivate scientists and lay people alike. The Anunnaki, a term that means those of royal blood, or those who from heaven to earth came, are a group of deities that appear in the mythological traditions of the ancient Sumerians, Akkadians, Assyrians, and Babylonians. According to these ancient Mesopotamian cultures, the Anunnaki were the most powerful deities in the pantheon, descendants of An, the god of the heavens, and their primary function was to decree the fates of humanity. But the story of the Anunnaki takes on a more intriguing form in the hands of Zecharia Sitchin, a controversial author best known for promoting an alternative interpretation of human history. In his Earth Chronicles series, Sitchin proposed that the Anunnaki were not mythological deities, but rather extraterrestrial beings from a planet in our solar system beyond Neptune, the aforementioned Planet X or Nibiru. Sitchin's theories, although not supported by mainstream historians or scientists, draw upon his own interpretations of ancient Sumerian texts and the iconography and symbolism of Mesopotamian art. He suggests that the Anunnaki came to Earth around 450,000 years ago in search of minerals, particularly gold, to save their dying planet by using it to repair their damaged atmosphere. Moreover, Sitchin postulates that these ancient astronauts genetically engineered Homo sapiens as a labor force. He credits the Anunnaki with accelerating our evolution and introducing advancements in human civilization, including the concepts of agriculture, law, architecture, and even the fundamentals of astronomy. Interestingly, several ancient cultures indeed have stories about gods descending from the heavens, teaching humanity various aspects of civilization. From the fallen angels called the Watchers in the Book of Enoch who shared forbidden knowledge with mankind, to the Vimana-riding gods of Hindu mythology, and the feathered serpent deity Quetzalcoatl of the Aztecs who is said to have brought knowledge of agriculture and the calendar system to humans, there are these pervasive narratives of sky gods uplifting mankind. But why would such advanced beings decide to come to Earth of all places? As per the theories espoused by Zecharia Sitchin, the answer lies in a metal we're all quite familiar with: gold. Gold has always held a special place in human history, seen as a symbol of wealth, power, and divinity. But for the Anunnaki, it apparently had a far more practical purpose. The idea is that the Anunnaki's home planet, Nibiru, had a severely damaged atmosphere, not unlike the concerns we have about our own ozone layer. The Anunnaki, being an advanced civilization, knew how to mitigate this problem. By suspending gold particles in Nibiru's atmosphere, the gold would act as a shield, reflecting harmful radiation back into space and insulating their planet, much like how we use reflective materials to guard against the sun's heat. However, Nibiru's gold resources were dwindling, and this is where Earth entered the picture. Our blue planet, according to Sitchin's interpretation of Sumerian texts, was rich in this precious metal, which ultimately led to the Anunnaki's arrival on Earth. It suggested that they established mines, particularly in Africa, where today we find some of the richest gold deposits in the world. It's an intriguing theory, and it mirrors some of our own contemporary interests in space exploration. For instance, today we talk about asteroid mining as a potentially lucrative enterprise because of the rich deposits of precious metals that asteroids contain. So the idea of an advanced civilization scouring the cosmos for resources isn't entirely outlandish. When we think of gold, we often picture it as a symbol of wealth and power, used to create artifacts, adorn temples, or be fashioned into jewelry. But according to the Anunnaki theories, gold was more than just an ornamental or symbolic resource. It was a solution to a planet-wide problem. As we discussed earlier, the Anunnaki's home planet of Nibiru supposedly had a compromised atmosphere. The Anunnaki sought to repair this by using gold, a resource that was apparently scarce on Nibiru but abundant here on Earth. But why gold, you might ask? Interestingly, gold has a number of properties that make it uniquely suited to such a task. It's highly reflective, able to block heat and light, and it's incredibly resistant to corrosion. In a way, gold could act as an extremely effective insulator if suspended in an atmosphere, reflecting harmful solar radiation back into space while keeping the desirable conditions intact. In fact, we see a bit of a parallel in our own space endeavors. For instance, the visors on astronaut helmets are coated with a thin layer of gold to protect them from the unfiltered sunlight in space. We also use gold in our satellites and spacecraft for similar reasons. So the idea of using gold in such a manner might not be as far-fetched as it seems. However, while the notion is scientifically plausible, the theory of the Anunnaki using Earth's gold for this purpose remains unsubstantiated. There's no solid archaeological or historical evidence to suggest that ancient extraterrestrials mined Earth for gold. The narrative stems from a certain interpretation of Sumerian texts, which is not universally accepted. The importance of gold to the Anunnaki and the resultant interaction with humans, as per the theory, does paint a fascinating picture of our ancient history. Those who subscribe to the Anunnaki theory believe that these beings had a major role to play in the development of human civilization. Some say that they essentially jump-started our society, providing us with knowledge and tools that greatly accelerated our progress. The Sumerians, one of the earliest civilizations on Earth, are often mentioned in these discussions. They were known for their advances in astronomy, mathematics, and law, among other fields. Some argue that these advances were too sophisticated to have developed without outside influence. Hence, they postulate the Anunnaki imparted these advancements upon the Sumerians. An interesting part of this theory includes the origins of written language. Some believe the Anunnaki gifted the Sumerians with cuneiform, one of the earliest known systems of writing. By giving humans the ability to record and pass on knowledge, the Anunnaki allegedly elevated human culture and set us on the path to becoming the technologically advanced civilization we are today. Proponents of the Anunnaki theory often point to depictions in ancient Sumerian art and iconography that seem to show human-like beings of larger stature, sometimes depicted with wings or surrounded by symbols of power and divinity. These, they claim, are the Anunnaki, and their presence in such artwork is further proof of their influence. Believers in the Anunnaki theory often highlight similarities between various ancient cultures as further evidence of extraterrestrial intervention. For instance, the story of a flood and a savior figure who rides it out in a ship, which is seen in both the Sumerian epic of Gilgamesh and the biblical story of Noah, is thought to suggest a common origin. Are these independent stories or echoes of an ancient memory shared by all humans? Moreover, across various civilizations, from Sumerians to ancient Egyptians, Mayans, and even Native American tribes, there are references to sky gods or celestial beings who descended from the heavens. Could these be disparate accounts of the same extraterrestrial visitors, the annunaki? Then there's the matter of pyramids. These majestic structures were built in different parts of the world by civilizations that supposedly never had contact with each other. The ancient Egyptians, the Mayans, and civilizations in ancient China. Each set of pyramids aligns with certain celestial bodies or events. It's an intriguing correlation that prompts the question, was this a coincidence? Or is there something more to it? But as compelling as these parallels may be, they are not universally accepted as evidence of Anunnaki influence. Many scholars attribute these similarities to convergent evolution of civilizations, the idea that different societies independently arrive at similar cultural practices and beliefs. Others theorize about the possibility of ancient cultural exchange that we don't fully understand yet. It's important to keep in mind that just because something isn't fully understood, it doesn't automatically mean that the explanation is extraterrestrial. So are we the descendants of an advanced alien civilization? Or are the Anunnaki tales simply part of our rich tapestry of mythology, the product of imaginative storytelling and our inherent fascination with the unknown? As of now, the lines between fact and fiction remain blurred, but as we continue to explore our universe and uncover the secrets of our past, we might someday stumble upon definitive answers. Until then, let's keep probing, questioning, and marveling at the captivating mysteries of our existence. Have you ever wondered about the mysteries of our ancient past? Today, we're diving into the world of the Anunnaki, a group of deities from ancient Mesopotamian culture. But what if there's more to these mythical beings than meets the eye? Some theorists believe the Anunnaki were actually advanced extraterrestrial visitors from a hidden planet called Nibiru, who came to Earth seeking gold. This theory suggests that these celestial beings didn't just mine resources, but also left an indelible mark on human civilization, teaching us about agriculture, architecture, and even the stars themselves. From the perplexing structures of Göbekli Tepe to the intricate Sumerian king list, we're going to explore the clues and theories surrounding the Anunnaki's influence and their potential ongoing presence on Earth. So let's delve into this cosmic puzzle and unravel the mysteries of an ancient time. Delving into the realms of ancient mythology and modern extraterrestrial speculation brings us to the intriguing and controversial Anunnaki gold theory. Central to this theory is the belief in an ancient alien race known as the Anunnaki, originating from a hidden planet in our solar system, often referred to as Nibiru or Planet X. This mysterious planet, posited to be on an elongated orbit far beyond Neptune, is said to swing close to Earth every few thousand years. The legend of the Anunnaki first emerged from the ancient Sumerian civilization, one of the earliest known civilizations located in the southern part of Mesopotamia. Sumerian texts and cylinder seals depict beings that some believe to be these ancient astronauts, describing them as those who from heaven to earth came. According to Zechariah Sitchin, a proponent of the theory, the Anunnaki came to Earth approximately 450,000 years ago. During one such close passage of Nibiru, their purpose, to mine gold. But why gold? Proponents of the theory suggest that the Anunnaki required gold to repair the deteriorating atmosphere of their home planet. Gold, with its unique properties and ability to reflect infrared light, was supposedly used to create a protective shield in the upper layers of Nibiru's atmosphere. Earth, abundant in this precious metal, thus became their source. The gold theory is further bolstered by interpretations of ancient Sumerian artwork and iconography. Some of these interpretations point to depictions of what could be interpreted as advanced technology, spacecraft or astronauts, possibly the Anunnaki themselves. These interpretations often draw parallels between the Sumerian descriptions of the Anunnaki and similar beings in other ancient cultures and mythologies around the world, suggesting a global presence of these beings. One of the most striking aspects of this theory is the claim that the Anunnaki genetically engineered human beings. It is posited that they used their advanced knowledge to manipulate the existing hominids on Earth, possibly using their own genetic material to create a labor force for mining operations. This, the theory suggests, could explain the sudden leap in human advancement and the emergence of more sophisticated civilization shortly after. Sitchin and others have pointed to various ancient structures and artifacts as potential evidence of this advanced alien influence, such as the precise construction of the Egyptian pyramids or the intricate stone structures of Sumer itself. However, mainstream science and archaeology have widely dismissed these theories, attributing these achievements to human ingenuity and the gradual development of civilization. The Anunnaki gold theory and the associated legends of planet Nibiru continue to captivate the imagination of many. They stand as a testament to humanity's enduring fascination with the stars and the possibilities of what might lie beyond our current understanding. Whether viewed as ancient myth or as speculative history, these stories challenge us to consider the vast and mysterious tapestry of the universe in which we reside. At the heart of some of the most intriguing theories about ancient civilizations lies the story of the Anunnaki, a group of deities in Sumerian mythology who are often at the center of alternative historical narratives. According to these theories, the Anunnaki were not merely mythological beings but visitors from another world who played a pivotal role in shaping human civilization. Looking at the ancient Sumerian civilization, it's evident that they were remarkably advanced for their time. They built impressive cities like Uruk and Ur, developed a sophisticated system of writing, cuneiform, and made significant advancements in mathematics and astronomy. Some theorists argue that such advancements are too sophisticated to have originated independently, suggesting extraterrestrial influence. One of the most fascinating aspects of this theory is the claim that the Anunnaki directly intervened in human evolution. It is hypothesized that they used their advanced technology and knowledge in genetics to upgrade Homo sapiens, merging their extraterrestrial DNA with that of humans. This, the theory posits, could explain the sudden leap in human intelligence and capabilities around this period. Artifacts such as the Sumerian king list, which records the reigns of kings over thousands of years, and the detailed astronomical records found in Sumerian texts are often cited as evidence of this alien influence. These records show an understanding of celestial bodies and their movements that seems too advanced for a civilization of that era. Moreover, the depiction of the Anunnaki in Sumerian art, often shown as larger than human figures and sometimes with non-human features, fuels speculation about their extraterrestrial origin. These depictions are interpreted by some as literal representations of these beings, rather than symbolic or mythological figures. In modern culture, the story of the Anunnaki has taken on a life of its own, inspiring books, movies, and conspiracy theories. It continues to be a topic of fascination and debate, symbolizing the enduring human quest to understand our origins and the development of our civilizations. Whether one views the Anunnaki as myth or as possible historical figures, their story invites us to consider broader possibilities about our past and the ancient world. The quest to trace the footprints of the Anunnaki across our planet takes us to various historical and archaeological sites, where clues of their supposed involvement with human civilizations are said to be present. Proponents of the theory scrutinize these sites, searching for evidence of extraterrestrial interaction and knowledge sharing with ancient humans. One focal point in this quest is the ancient Sumerian civilization. The Sumerian astronomical texts, for instance, display a sophisticated understanding of planetary movements, leading some to speculate that this knowledge was imparted by the Anunnaki. The ziggurats, towering temple complexes of ancient Mesopotamia, with their intricate and monumental design, also fuel theories of extraterrestrial architectural influence. Beyond Mesopotamia, other ancient sites around the world are speculated to bear the mark of the Anunnaki. The Egyptian pyramids, with their precise alignment and construction, are often mentioned in this context. Theories suggest that the knowledge and technology required to build these colossal structures might have been shared by the Anunnaki. Similarly, the megalithic structures of Stonehenge in England, with their complex arrangement and astrological significance, are sometimes included in discussions about potential Anunnaki involvement. In terms of their ongoing presence, some theorists believe that the Anunnaki never left Earth and continue to influence world events. This belief is often tied to conspiracy theories about hidden powers controlling global affairs, suggesting that the Anunnaki or their descendants might be involved in guiding the course of human history from behind the scenes. These theories delve into the realm of speculation, with claims ranging from secret societies with Anunnaki knowledge to alien-human hybrids influencing political and economic systems. Artifacts and art from various ancient cultures also come under scrutiny for alleged depictions of the Anunnaki. These include Sumerian statues and reliefs, Egyptian hieroglyphs, and even pre-Columbian art from the Americas. Proponents analyze these artifacts for iconography and symbolism that could indicate extraterrestrial contact or influence, such as depictions of beings with non-human features or objects that resemble modern perceptions of spacecraft. The narrative of the Anunnaki is deeply intertwined with the broader framework of the ancient astronaut theory, a perspective suggesting that extraterrestrial beings visited Earth in antiquity and significantly influenced the development of human civilization. This theory posits that many of the mythological tales, religious texts, and ancient artworks that have been passed down through generations are not mere products of human imagination, but actual accounts of alien visitation. Central to this theory is the interpretation of ancient texts and artifacts. For instance, the Anunnaki, as described in Sumerian mythology, are often depicted as godlike figures coming from the sky, which some theorists argue could be a literal description of extraterrestrial visitors. Critics argue that such interpretations often involve a significant amount of speculation and tend to overlook cultural and mythological contexts. They caution against projecting modern UFO and alien concepts onto ancient civilizations, which had their own rich and complex understandings of the world. On the other hand, supporters of the ancient astronaut theory argue that mainstream historical and archaeological interpretations fail to adequately explain certain anomalies in ancient artifacts and texts. This theory has permeated popular culture, inspiring a plethora of media. It has captivated the imagination of millions, leading to a popular reimagining of human history. This fascination reflects a broader human interest in understanding our origins and the possibility of connections to other worlds or civilizations. The Anunnaki and the ancient astronaut theory represent a compelling narrative that challenges conventional views of human history. Whether one sees them as mere myths or potential historical realities, they undoubtedly enrich the tapestry of human culture with their mystery and provoke us to question our understanding of the past. The idea that the Anunnaki might have had a global influence isn't a novel concept, but exploring its potential breadth and depth is an enthralling journey. As we traverse ancient civilizations and their achievements, it's hard to ignore certain patterns and parallels that seemingly hint at a unifying factor. Could it be that this ancient extraterrestrial race, known in Mesopotamian myths as powerful deities, shared their knowledge across vast stretches of land and time? When we observe ancient structures from the ziggurats of Mesopotamia to the pyramids of Egypt, and even the distant step temples of the Mayans, a structural similarity emerges. These colossal structures, often aligned with celestial bodies and events, demand a level of architectural and astronomical expertise that seems ahead of its time. The question then arises, is it mere coincidence or a shared blueprint from a singular advanced source? This theme of advanced knowledge isn't confined to architecture. Ancient cultures from the Sumerians to the Vedic Indians possess scriptures detailing complex astronomical data. They charted the movement of stars, understood the concept of planets, and even hinted at a heliocentric system. Were these independent discoveries? Or was there a teacher, perhaps the Anunnaki, guiding them to these revelations? Mythologies further fuel this speculation. Various cultures describe divine or otherworldly beings who descended from the skies. In South America, the legends talk of gods arriving from the stars and teaching them advanced agricultural methods. Similarly, in Africa, the Dogon tribe's knowledge of the Sirius star system, particularly of the dwarf star invisible to the naked eye, baffles scientists today. Were these mere tales or encoded accounts of actual encounters with beings from beyond our world? Artifacts and symbols also suggest a global link. The ubiquitous dragon, revered from China to Europe while diverse in interpretation, holds common themes of power, divinity, and often association with the sky or cosmos. Were these depictions inspired by the Anunnaki or their technologies, interpreted by our ancestors as magical or divine? While these patterns and similarities across ancient cultures are striking, they also open a Pandora's box of questions. Were our ancestors merely drawing from a shared well of human imagination, coming up with parallel innovations and myths? Or do these patterns suggest that an external, perhaps extraterrestrial influence, specifically the Anunnaki, bridged these cultures and eras, sowing seeds of knowledge that blossomed into the marvels we study and admire today? The Indus Valley, nestled between modern-day Pakistan and India, was home to one of the most enigmatic ancient civilizations. Flourishing around 1300–1300 BCE, the Indus Valley Civilization, or Harappan Civilization, named after Harappa, one of its primary cities, showcased a level of urban sophistication and organization that rivals its contemporaries in Egypt and Mesopotamia. Astonishingly, within the ruins of the Indus Valley, archaeologists have unearthed symbols and artifacts that bear uncanny resemblances to the Anunnaki iconography of ancient Sumer. While it's crucial to approach such comparisons with caution, the potential implications of these findings are hard to ignore. City layouts of the major Indus centers, such as Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa, display meticulous planning. Wide, straight streets form a grid pattern, with advanced sewage and drainage systems unseen in other parts of the ancient world. At the heart of Mohenjo-Daro stands the Great Bath, a central public structure possibly used for ceremonial purposes. Surrounding it are symbols etched into stone and metal, symbols resembling the winged sun disk, a staple of Anunnaki representation. Moreover, countless small soapstone seals have been found throughout the Indus Valley sites. These seals, mostly square or rectangular, depict various animals, figures, and symbols. Among these symbols, certain motifs echo the iconography associated with the Anunnaki, most notably figures standing or seated in postures reminiscent of deities found in Sumerian depictions. While the written script of the Indus Valley remains undeciphered, these symbols offer tantalizing hints. Many researchers have posited a potential cultural or spiritual link between the Harappans and the Sumerians. It's conceivable that they might have shared, borrowed, or even inherited certain aspects of spirituality and mythology, possibly centered around the mysterious Anunnaki. One of the most striking pieces of evidence is a depiction found on a seal where a figure, seated in a yogic posture and surrounded by animals, bears a headpiece strikingly similar to those worn by Sumerian deities. This figure, often called the Pashupati seal, has led many to speculate about a deity or figure that may have been revered in both cultures. Trade is another avenue that might have facilitated this cultural exchange. The Indus Valley people were known traders, their goods reaching far-off lands, including Sumer. It's entirely possible that during these exchanges, more than just commodities were shared. Stories, myths, and religious beliefs could have traveled alongside material goods. While definitive conclusions remain elusive, the parallels between the two civilizations provide a tantalizing puzzle. Did the Indus Valley inhabitants have their own interpretation or version of the Anunnaki? Or are these similarities mere coincidences born from the universal human penchant for creating myths? The sands of time continue to obscure these secrets, but the pursuit of answers persists, reminding us of the interconnected tapestry of ancient human civilizations. The connection between the Anunnaki and ancient Egypt is a topic of fervent debate, exploration, and wonder. While Mesopotamia is often cited as the primary region of influence for the Anunnaki, according to various theories, their reach possibly extended far beyond, touching the banks of the Nile and influencing the dynasties that rose there. At the heart of ancient Egypt was its pantheon of gods and goddesses, revered and depicted in magnificent temples, hieroglyphs, and papyrus scrolls. Names like Osiris, Isis, Ra, and Anubis are well known, but some researchers suggest that these deities could share a lineage or be synonymous with the Anunnaki. One of the compelling arguments stems from the intricate and advanced architectural feats of the Egyptians. The pyramids, especially the Great Pyramid of Giza, remain a marvel. Their precise alignments with celestial bodies, intricate internal chambers, and sheer grandiosity are sometimes cited as being beyond the capabilities of ancient man without some external guidance. Could it be that the Anunnaki, with their advanced knowledge, had a hand in this. Then there are the similarities in stories and legends. Just as the Anunnaki were believed to have imparted vast knowledge in Mesopotamia, so too were the gods of Egypt considered the source of wisdom, medicine, astronomy, and more. The Book of the Dead, a guide to the afterlife for ancient Egyptians, contains spells and instructions that resonate with tales from Sumerian texts. Themes of life, death, resurrection, and the stars repeatedly appear in both cultures. However, it's the similarities between the physical depictions of the gods where things become even more intriguing. Both Sumerian and Egyptian art represent their deities as larger than life, often possessing unique crowns or headdresses and holding staffs or scepters of power. Some speculate that these could be more than just symbols, but might represent some form of advanced technology or device. Moreover, the idea of kingship, granted from the heavens, is a common thread. Pharaohs were seen not just as rulers but as gods in human form, a direct bridge between the mortal realm and the divine. This concept aligns with the Sumerian belief of kingship being bestowed by the Anunnaki. However, with these points made, it's essential to tread with caution. Correlation does not necessarily imply causation. While there are parallels, there are also vast differences in the beliefs, practices, and histories of the Sumerian and Egyptian civilizations. Many scholars believe that these similarities might be coincidental or stem from the shared human experience rather than direct influence. Situated between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers in what's modern-day Iraq, the Sumerians established one of the world's first urban civilizations. Their impact on the course of human history is profound, laying the groundwork for many facets of modern society. In the annals of ancient history, Sumer is often referred to as the cradle of civilization. By 4000 BCE, the Sumerians had already developed systems of writing, advanced architecture, and complex religious beliefs. Their society was a collection of city-states, each governed by its king and protected by its patron god or goddess. Some of the most famous city-states include Ur, Uruk, and Eridu. One of the Sumerians' most celebrated achievements is their system of writing called cuneiform. Etched onto clay tablets, cuneiform symbols allowed them to maintain records, draft laws, and create poetic works of literature. Among these, the Epic of Gilgamesh stands out, an epic poem that predates even Homer's works and delves deep into themes of friendship, ambition, and the human quest for immortality. Religion was central to Sumerian life. They believed in a pantheon of gods and goddesses who controlled every aspect of their world, from the movements of the stars to the fertility of the soil. Temples known as ziggurats towered over their cities. These were not just places of worship, but centers of economic and administrative activity. Economically, the Sumerians were pioneers in trade and agriculture. Their land, often termed the Fertile Crescent, was immensely fruitful, allowing them to cultivate a range of crops. Yet what truly propelled their economy was their ingenuity. The Sumerians were among the first to use the wheel, not for transportation initially, but for pottery. They also devised systems of weights and measures, facilitating trade within and beyond their borders. But life in Sumer wasn't always peaceful. Conflicts often arose between city-states vying for resources, leading to the establishment of fortified walls and the rise of warrior kings. The ebb and flow of power, as one city rose while another declined, became a hallmark of Sumerian politics. Over time, as with all ancient civilizations, the Sumerians faced decline. They were absorbed or conquered by subsequent empires, including the Akkadians, Babylonians, and Assyrians. However, the imprint they left is undeniable. Their innovations in governance, writing, religion, and technology set the stage for successive civilizations and in many ways shaped the trajectory of human progress. Zecharia Sitchin, a controversial and influential figure in the realm of ancient astronaut theories, left behind a legacy that continues to captivate and challenge scholars and enthusiasts alike. His interpretations of ancient Sumerian texts and their potential links to extraterrestrial beings, particularly the Anunnaki, have fueled debates and discussions across the world. Born in Azerbaijan and raised in Palestine, Sitchin's multilingual skills played a pivotal role in his explorations. Fluent in modern and ancient languages, he meticulously deciphered ancient cuneiform texts, the wedge-shaped script used by the Sumerians. Through this deep dive, Sitchin proposed some intriguing and groundbreaking ideas. Central to his theories is the belief that the Anunnaki, A pantheon of deities described in ancient Mesopotamian literature were not mere myths. Instead, he proposed that they were extraterrestrial beings from a planet named Nibiru, which orbits our sun every 3,600 years. According to Sitchin, these beings came to Earth seeking gold, a resource they required to save the deteriorating atmosphere of their home planet. Sitchin's interpretation of the texts paints a vivid picture of these visitors. He describes how the Anunnaki, upon arriving on Earth, genetically modified native hominins to create a labor force, resulting in the emergence of modern humans. This audacious claim suggests that our very evolution might have been influenced or even orchestrated by these celestial beings. But Sitchin didn't stop there. He posited that much of human civilization's early advancements, from the birth of agriculture to the establishment of organized societies, were guided by the Anunnaki. They played the role of teachers, imparting knowledge that accelerated human progress at an unprecedented rate. Another fascinating angle Sitchin explored was the potential correlations between the Anunnaki tales and stories from other cultures. He drew parallels between Sumerian accounts and those in ancient scriptures like the Hebrew Bible. The story of the Great Flood, for example, appears both in Sumerian texts and in the biblical account of Noah. Was it mere coincidence or evidence of shared experiences with these celestial beings? Though his theories have been met with skepticism from mainstream archaeologists and linguists, who often argue that his translations are misinterpretations, there's no denying the influence Sitchin has had. His work has spawned a plethora of books, documentaries, and discussions, bridging the gap between ancient legends and the possibility of extraterrestrial encounters. In the end, whether one subscribes to Sitchin's views or dismisses them, his perspective offers an enchanting lens through which to view our ancient past, prompting us to question and explore the boundaries between myth, history, and the vast expanse of the cosmos. Have you ever looked up at the stars and wondered if we are truly alone in the universe? It's a profound question that stirs the imagination and makes us question what we know about our own history. Today, we're diving deep into ancient Mesopotamia to explore the intriguing theory of the Anunnaki. Found in Sumerian texts, the Anunnaki were described as celestial beings that descended from the heavens. But could they have been more than just myth? And what if I told you this ancient tale has echoes in other cultures around the world, posing the possibility of a common narrative of extraterrestrial contact? In the heartland of Mesopotamia, one of the cradles of human civilization, the Sumerians etched a compelling narrative into clay tablets. They spoke of beings known as the Anunnaki, divine entities who descended from the heavens. These celestial figures were not mere flights of fantasy, but were perceived as genuine influences in the Sumerian society. In the Sumerian cosmology, the Anunnaki were believed to be the offspring of An, the sky god, and Ki, the earth goddess. And among these divine figures, some, like Enki, Enlil, and Inanna, held significant roles in Sumerian myths and epics. They were seen as divine mediators, connecting the celestial realm with the earthly domain and playing a part in the creation and early development of humanity. The Sumerian texts describe Eridu as the first city established by the Anunnaki on Earth. Interestingly, Eridu is considered one of the oldest cities in the world, and it's in this ancient city that the concept of urbanization, written language, and state rule first began to emerge. The Anunnaki were often associated with bestowing wisdom and knowledge upon humanity. They're said to have taught humans the arts of civilization, like law, agriculture, architecture, and writing, catalyzing the societal shift from hunter-gatherers to settled agricultural communities. Now the crux of the issue remains. Are these accounts of the Anunnaki mythological constructs created to provide explanations for natural phenomena or historical events? Or could they be interpreted as early human interactions with beings from another world, documented through the only means available at that time, myths and legends? The ripples of the Anunnaki influence, it seems, extend well beyond the boundaries of Sumer. Whether it's under different names, titles, or representations, ancient cultures around the globe have distinct tales of divine beings descending from the skies to interact with humanity. Let's turn our gaze across various cultures and decipher these intriguing narratives. In ancient Egypt, for instance, the pantheon of gods was believed to have descended from the heavens to guide human society. Their god of wisdom, Thoth, similar to the Anunnaki, was said to have introduced writing, mathematics, and architecture to humanity. Intriguingly, the Sumerians' neighbor, the Akkadians, had their equivalent of the Anunnaki called the Igoge. Even halfway across the world in Mesoamerica, the Maya believed in the Kukulkan, or feathered serpent, a deity that bestowed knowledge and wisdom. He was known as Quetzalcoatl among the Aztecs. Meanwhile, the ancient Indian texts, the Vedas, tell of the devas, divine beings who interacted with humans and even interbred with them, a narrative strikingly similar to the Anunnaki's role in Sumerian texts. In Greek mythology, the gods resided atop Mount Olympus but frequently descended to Earth to interact and sometimes mate with humans, leading to the birth of demigods and heroes. Again, this resonates with the Sumerian account of the Anunnaki breeding with humans to create demigods. These parallels in disparate cultures across various geographical boundaries pose a bewildering question. Are these uncanny resemblances mere coincidences, sprung from the shared human impulse to personify and deify natural phenomena and existential quandaries? Or do they point towards a common thread, an ancient global influence by sky beings weaving through the tapestry of human civilization? As we dig deeper, we tread along the precipice of the known and the unknown, venturing into realms that blur the boundaries between mythology, archaeology, and even, perhaps, extraterrestrial encounters. This tantalizing and universally resounding theme of celestial beings lending a hand in the development of human civilization is truly compelling. From the celestial dragons of Chinese lore, the Norse gods of Asgard, to the divine pantheon of the Roman Empire, stories of mighty beings from the stars are deeply entrenched in our collective consciousness. So why is it that across wide oceans, over towering mountains, through vast deserts, and deep in lush rainforests, the tale of star beings visiting Earth, helping humans or sometimes wreaking havoc, finds its way into the oral and written traditions of civilizations? One explanation proposes that these myths are archetypal. That is, they represent universal symbols or motifs embedded deep within our collective unconscious, as Carl Jung might argue. They are part of our human heritage, a product of the shared fears, desires, and the innate curiosity about our place in the universe that is common to all human societies. Another explanation draws on the theories of Swiss author Erich von Däniken, who argues that these stories are not merely symbolic but literal descriptions of encounters with extraterrestrial beings. He contends that these celestial beings were, in fact, technologically advanced aliens who were mistaken for gods by our less advanced ancestors. Moreover, this global myth of celestial beings suggests a diffusion of cultural elements between ancient societies. This could mean that either these stories were so universally relevant that they spontaneously arose in each culture, or that ancient civilizations were much more globally connected than we give them credit for, sharing stories and myths across vast distances. Yet another perspective comes from the field of astroarchaeology, which suggests that these stories might represent early humans' attempts to understand and document astronomical phenomena. The celestial beings may be personifications of planets, stars, and celestial events like comets or meteor showers. However, the line of thought that we're most interested in aligns with the Sumerian text's narrative, that these beings were advanced entities who directly intervened in human society, teaching us agriculture, architecture, writing, and social organization. As we delve further into this topic, we'll encounter theories both intriguing and controversial. Each viewpoint offers a different lens to view these ancient narratives that have shaped our world and continue to puzzle and fascinate us to this day. The question is, which lens brings the truth into the sharpest focus? And are we prepared for what we might see? With such fascinating theories and tantalizing connections, one might be tempted to jump headfirst into believing these stories. However, as any good investigation goes, we need to approach this from a scientific perspective, scrutinizing the evidence, evaluating its validity, and understanding its context. Firstly, let's consider the Sumerian texts themselves. The clay tablets on which these stories were written were inscribed with cuneiform script, one of the earliest known forms of writing. Translating these is a complex task, often open to interpretation, so it's entirely possible that descriptions of the Anunnaki and their actions may not be entirely accurate. For instance, Zecharia Sitchin, a popular author known for his translations of these texts, proposed that the Anunnaki were extraterrestrials who came from a planet called Nibiru. Other scholars, however, have contested his interpretations, suggesting he read too literally into metaphors and symbolism in the text. In the realm of archaeology, physical evidence can also be ambiguous. While we find inexplicable feats of engineering in ancient structures and iconography that seems to depict otherworldly beings, these can also be explained by human innovation and the power of human imagination. Some proponents of the ancient astronaut theory point to technological achievements of ancient civilizations as evidence of extraterrestrial intervention. They argue that the construction of the pyramids of Giza or the Nazca lines in Peru would have required knowledge and technology beyond the capabilities of the people of the time. However, many archaeologists dispute this view, asserting that these feats are testament to human ingenuity rather than alien assistance. Turning to the global similarities in myths, these can be explained by the shared human experiences and archetypal narratives. While it's intriguing to think that similar stories of celestial beings across cultures point to a common historical event, it's also possible that these myths arose from shared human fears, desires, and attempts to understand the natural world. If we pause for a moment and put the skepticism aside, what could this Anunnaki influence really mean? Starting with the texts, the Sumerians described the Anunnaki as deities who descended from the heavens. They were seen as bringers of civilization, teaching humanity various aspects of culture like law, agriculture, architecture, and even the mysterious art of divination. If we consider this from an ancient astronaut perspective, this could be interpreted as these beings sharing advanced knowledge and technologies. This perspective gains even more weight when we consider how quickly civilization seemed to have sprung up in Mesopotamia, the cradle of civilization. The region saw an almost abrupt transformation from a hunter-gatherer society to one that built cities, developed agriculture, and invented writing. Could this sudden leap have been aided by extraterrestrial influence? Moving to the global scale, if the Anunnaki did influence other cultures, we might need to rethink the concept of independent innovation. Currently, historians believe that many cultures developed similar technologies and beliefs independently, a phenomenon called parallel evolution. But if the Anunnaki theory holds true, it suggests a more interconnected ancient world than we currently believe. To take an example, let's consider the pyramids. Pyramidal structures appear not only in Egypt, but also in cultures as far removed as the Mayans in Central America. If we were guided by extraterrestrials in our distant past, it certainly poses intriguing questions about our origins and our place in the universe. Are we truly alone, or have we been part of a galactic community since the dawn of civilization? And as always, thanks for watching. We have taken a journey through ancient texts, explored cultures from around the globe, and tried to decode the influence of the Anunnaki. While the theory of extraterrestrial intervention in our past remains a topic of speculation and debate, it prompts us to keep an open mind, to question the accepted narratives, and to continue our quest for knowledge. As we ponder the mysteries of our past, we may just find clues that could reshape our understanding of our place in the universe. But as we continue our search for answers, remember, it's not just about reaching the destination, but also about the thrill of the journey itself. As we delve deeper into the mysteries of the Maya civilization, it is not uncommon for alternative theories and speculations to arise. One such theory suggests a potential connection between the Maya and the Anunnaki, a race of extraterrestrial beings from ancient Mesopotamian mythology. According to some proponents of this theory, the Anunnaki may have visited Earth in the distant past, sharing their knowledge of astronomy, mathematics, and architecture with the Maya and other ancient civilizations. Welcome to Life's Biggest Questions. Now let's continue this journey, shall we? As we explore the architectural marvels of ancient civilizations, it becomes evident that there is a fascinating link between the pyramids of Egypt and the Mayan temples of Mesoamerica. Although separated by vast distances and distinct cultural backgrounds, these magnificent structures share several intriguing similarities that continue to captivate the curiosity of scholars and enthusiasts alike. One of the most apparent connections between the pyramids and Mayan temples is their stepped pyramid form. Both the Egyptian pyramids, such as the Great Pyramid of Giza, and the Mayan temples, like the Temple of Kukulkan at Chichen Itza, feature a tiered design with a series of platforms leading to a summit. This distinct shape is thought to have served both practical and symbolic purposes, providing a stable base for the structure while also representing a stairway to the heavens, connecting the earthly realm with the divine. Another link between the pyramids and Mayan temples is their alignment with celestial phenomena. Both civilizations demonstrated a profound understanding of astronomy, and this knowledge was incorporated into the design and orientation of their monumental structures. For instance, the pyramids of Giza are aligned with the stars of Orion's belt, while the temple of Kukulkan at Chichen Itza is designed to create a shadow serpent during the equinoxes. These alignments reflect the significance of celestial events in the religious and cultural beliefs of both the ancient Egyptians and the Maya. The construction techniques employed by both the Egyptians and the Maya also share some similarities. While the specific methods and materials used by each civilization were distinct, both cultures relied on locally available resources such as limestone to create their monumental structures. Additionally, both the Egyptians and the Maya developed ingenious methods for transporting and placing massive stone blocks, allowing them to create some of the most iconic architectural wonders of the ancient world. The Maya civilization's astronomical prowess extended well beyond the creation of the long count calendar. Their impressive understanding of celestial movements allowed them to track the cycles of the Moon, Venus, and other celestial bodies with exceptional accuracy. The Maya even developed sophisticated methods for predicting solar and lunar eclipses. Their complex calendar system, which included the long count calendar, the Tzolk'in, and the Hab, is indicative of the Maya's profound connection to the cosmos. These calendars, when interlinked, provided the Maya with a comprehensive method for tracking both sacred and secular time, and they were used to plan religious ceremonies, agricultural activities, and other essential aspects of Mayan life. While there is no concrete evidence to support this claim, the idea of ancient astronauts continues to captivate the imagination and fuel the search for further connections between the Maya and the cosmos. However, it is crucial to recognize that the Maya civilization's impressive achievements are the result of their own ingenuity and dedication to understanding the natural world around them. As we continue to explore the world of the Mayan pyramids, we are reminded of the remarkable capabilities of human civilizations and their unyielding pursuit of knowledge. The significance of the ball court in Mayan society cannot be understated. These architecturally impressive structures were often built at the heart of Mayan cities, serving not only as venues for the ritualistic ball games, but also as social and political centers where people would gather to witness the spectacle. The design of the ball court varied between cities, but most shared some common features. A typical ball court consisted of an elongated, parallel-walled playing field, flanked by sloping walls that allowed the ball to rebound back into the field. Stone rings, sometimes adorned with intricate carvings, were mounted high on the walls, presenting a challenging target for the players. The ball game played in these courts, known as pits, held deep religious and symbolic significance for the Maya. The game was believed to be a reenactment of the mythological battle between the hero twins and the lords of the underworld, as recounted in the Popol Vuh, a sacred text of the Maya. By participating in the game, the players were reenacting this cosmic struggle between the forces of life and death, ensuring the continued balance of the universe. The stakes of these games were incredibly high. The players, often members of the elite, would compete not only for prestige and social standing, but also in some cases for their very lives. It is believed that in certain instances, the losing team, or even the captain of the losing team, could be subjected to human sacrifice. This brutal practice further underscores the deep connection between sport, religion, and the maintenance of cosmic order in Mayan society. The ball court and the game of pits are prime examples of the intricate web of connections that permeated Mayan culture, linking architecture, sport, and religious beliefs in a complex tapestry. The Mayan civilization's construction techniques were highly advanced for their time, employing ingenious methods and materials that allowed them to create some of the most iconic architectural marvels of the ancient world. The Mayan temples, with their distinct stepped pyramid form, were built using locally available materials such as limestone, and were often adorned with intricate carvings and stucco reliefs that depicted scenes from mythology, history, and daily life. One of the key features of Mayan construction was the use of the corbel arch, a false arch technique that enabled the builders to create vaulted ceilings and passageways without the need for traditional arches or domes. The corbel arch was formed by gradually overlapping layers of stones on either side of a passageway, with each successive layer projecting slightly inward until the layers met at the top, creating a vaulted ceiling. This technique allowed for the construction of impressive interior spaces, while using relatively simple construction methods and materials. In addition to the corbel arch, the Maya were known for their skill in creating massive stone platforms upon which their temples and other structures were built. These platforms were constructed using a technique known as cellular masonry, in which a series of stone cells or compartments were filled with earth and rubble, creating a solid, stable base for the structures above. The layout and orientation of Mayan temples were often influenced by the civilization's deep understanding of astronomy and celestial alignments. Many temples were designed to align with specific celestial events, such as solstices, equinoxes, and the rise and set of specific stars or constellations. This integration of astronomy into architecture further underscores the profound connection between the Mayas' spiritual beliefs and their understanding of the cosmos. The Mayan temples were not only architectural masterpieces, but also served important religious, political, and social functions. They often housed sacred relics, served as the burial sites for rulers and elites, and were the focal points for ceremonies and rituals that were central to the life of the Maya. The construction techniques employed by the Maya, along with their skillful integration of art, architecture, and astronomy, have left us with a rich and enduring legacy that continues to captivate and inspire those who seek to unravel the mysteries of this ancient civilization. The collapse of the Maya civilization remains one of the most intriguing puzzles in the study of ancient cultures. Between the 8th and 9th centuries CE, the once great Mayan cities were gradually abandoned, and the civilization that had flourished for centuries began to decline. Scholars have proposed various theories to explain this collapse, with factors such as overpopulation, warfare, disease, and environmental degradation potentially playing a role. One of the most widely accepted theories attributes the collapse of the Maya civilization to a combination of environmental and societal factors. Prolonged periods of drought and climate change would have put immense pressure on the Maya's agricultural system, leading to food shortages and social unrest. As the population grew, the need for intensive agriculture would have led to widespread deforestation and soil erosion, exacerbating the effects of climate change and further straining the civilization's resources. In addition to these environmental challenges, the Maya civilization was also plagued by internal strife and warfare. The competing city-states were often embroiled in conflicts over resources, territory, and political power. As the environmental conditions deteriorated, these conflicts likely intensified, further destabilizing the region and contributing to the decline of the Maya. Another contributing factor to the collapse of the Maya civilization may have been the spread of disease. While the specific diseases that may have affected the Maya are not known, it is likely that the crowded urban centers, combined with the stress of environmental and social pressures, would have created conditions ripe for the spread of infectious diseases. Epidemics could have decimated the population and further weakened the already fragile society. The collapse of the Maya civilization serves as a poignant reminder of the complex interplay between environmental, social, and political factors that can contribute to the decline of a once great culture. As we continue to study the mysteries of the Maya and their remarkable achievements, we gain valuable insights into the resilience, adaptability, and fragility of human civilizations, and we are reminded of the need to balance our pursuit of progress with a respect for the delicate balance of the natural world upon which we depend. I hope you enjoyed our video today. Stay tuned for more exciting developments and let us know any comments and suggestions down below. In the ancient lands of Mesopotamia, the Assyrians emerged as a powerful and highly advanced civilization, forging an empire that would leave a lasting impact on the history of the region. Their prowess in warfare, innovative architectural feats, and intricate artistic expressions were just a few of the hallmarks of this Iron Age society. Intriguingly, the Assyrians shared a deep connection with the Anunnaki, a group of deities revered throughout ancient Mesopotamian cultures. This divine relationship not only shaped their religious beliefs and practices, but also influenced their political structure, art, and literature, leaving a fascinating and complex legacy for future generations to uncover. Hello and welcome to Life's Biggest Questions. Let's continue this journey, shall we? The Assyrian Empire had its roots in the city-state of Ashur, located on the banks of the Tigris River in modern-day northern Iraq. The city was named after the chief deity of the Assyrian pantheon, Ashur, who was believed to grant the Assyrian kings their divine mandate to rule. By the late 3rd millennium BCE, Ashur had grown into a significant trading hub, benefiting from its strategic location along the Tigris River and its role in the lucrative trade network that connected Mesopotamia with Anatolia and the Mediterranean world. During the 2nd millennium BCE, Ashur and its surrounding region came under the control of various Mesopotamian powers, such as the 3rd dynasty of Ur and the Old Babylonian Empire. However, by the 14th century BCE, the Assyrians had managed to reassert their independence and expand their influence under the rule of King Ashur-uballit. Ashur-uballit first is credited with founding the Middle Assyrian Empire and embarking on an aggressive campaign of conquest, which saw the annexation of neighboring territories and the establishment of a pattern of military expansion that would define the Assyrian Empire for centuries to come. The Assyrian Empire continued to grow and consolidate its power under a series of strong and ambitious rulers, including Adad-nirari I, Tukulti-Ninurta I, and Tiglath-Pileser I. These kings implemented administrative reforms to centralize power and enhance their control over the expanding empire. They also invested heavily in infrastructure projects such as irrigation systems and road networks, which facilitated the movement of goods and people and enabled the efficient administration of the empire's vast territories. The zenith of Assyrian power came during the Neo-Assyrian period, which began in the late 10th century BCE with the reign of Adad-nirari II. This period saw a rapid expansion of the empire under rulers like Ashur-nasirpal II, Shalmaneser III, Tiglath-Pileser III, Sargon II, Sennacherib, Esarhaddon, and Ashurbanipal. At its peak, the Assyrian Empire stretched from the Persian Gulf in the east to the Mediterranean Sea in the west, and from the borders of modern-day Iran in the north to Egypt in the south. Throughout their history, the Assyrians maintained an aggressive policy of expansion and conquest, often employing brutal tactics to subdue their enemies and maintain control over their vast territories. This policy allowed them to amass significant wealth and resources, which in turn fueled their continued growth and dominance in the ancient Near East. The Assyrian military was a key factor in the empire's rise to prominence and the backbone of its success. Its strength lay in its discipline, organization, advanced weaponry, and innovative strategies. The following elements contributed to the Assyrians' fearsome reputation on the battlefield. The Assyrians were among the first to use iron extensively in their weapons, giving them a significant advantage over their enemies. Iron was stronger and more durable than bronze, allowing the Assyrians to produce superior swords, spears, and arrowheads. This technological edge enabled them to overcome adversaries who were still reliant on bronze weaponry. The Assyrian army was highly organized, with a clear chain of command and specialized units, including infantry, cavalry, archers, and charioteers. This organization allowed for efficient communication and coordination on the battlefield, ensuring that the Assyrians could effectively execute complex tactics and maneuvers. The Assyrians were masters of siege warfare, employing innovative techniques and technologies to breach fortified cities. They utilized siege towers, battering rams, and sappers to undermine city walls. The Assyrians also employed psychological warfare, such as displaying the severed heads of captured enemy leaders to demoralize their opponents and hasten their surrender. Unlike many of their contemporaries, the Assyrians maintained a large professional standing army that was always ready for battle. This enabled them to respond rapidly to threats and to project their power across the vast expanse of their empire. The Assyrian military made extensive use of cavalry and chariots, which allowed them to exploit the mobility and speed of these units to their advantage on the battlefield. Assyrian cavalry and charioteers were renowned for their skill and ferocity, striking fear into the hearts of their enemies. The Assyrians developed efficient logistical systems to keep their armies supplied on campaign. They built roads and bridges to facilitate the movement of troops and supplies, and they established supply depots and granaries in strategic locations to ensure that their forces were always well provisioned. Assyrian soldiers were rigorously trained from a young age, instilling in them a strong sense of discipline and loyalty to the empire. This training, combined with their advanced weaponry and tactics, made the Assyrian army a formidable force on the battlefield. The Assyrian military was not only the foundation of the empire's success, but also an instrument of terror. used to suppress revolts and intimidate potential adversaries. The Assyrians' military prowess and innovations played a critical role in their rise to power and their ability to maintain control over their vast territories. The Assyrian Empire, once a dominant power in the ancient Near East, eventually succumbed to a combination of internal and external factors that led to its decline and fall. The following factors contributed to the disintegration of this once mighty empire. Overextension and revolts. As the Assyrian Empire expanded, it became increasingly difficult to maintain control over its vast territories. Rebellions and uprisings were common, particularly in the more distant provinces. The Assyrians relied heavily on their fearsome military to suppress these revolts, but this strategy stretched their resources thin and left the empire vulnerable to external threats. The cost of maintaining a large standing army, as well as the construction of grand palaces, temples, and other monumental structures, placed a significant financial burden on the empire. This burden was further exacerbated by the need to fund expensive military campaigns to suppress revolts and defend the empire's borders. This financial strain weakened the Assyrian economy and made it more susceptible to external shocks, internal strife and political instability. Succession disputes and infighting among the Assyrian elite led to periods of political instability and weakened the central authority of the empire. This instability made it more difficult for the Assyrians to respond effectively to external threats and to maintain control over their territories. Environmental factors. Some scholars argue that environmental factors, such as droughts and famines, contributed to the decline of the Assyrian Empire. These natural disasters would have strained the empire's already weakened economy and disrupted its agricultural base, further exacerbating the challenges faced by the Assyrians. The Assyrian Empire faced increasing pressure from external powers, such as the Medes, Babylonians, and Scythians. As the Assyrians struggled to maintain control over their territories and suppress internal revolts, these external powers sensed an opportunity to challenge Assyrian dominance. In 612 BCE, the Babylonians and Medes formed a coalition and laid siege to the Assyrian capital of Nineveh, ultimately capturing the city and dealing a devastating blow to the Assyrian Empire. The final collapse. After the fall of Nineveh, the Assyrians attempted to regroup and establish a new capital at Haran. However, the empire was too weakened to withstand the continued onslaught from its enemies. In 609 BCE, the Babylonians and Medes captured Haran, marking the end of the Assyrian Empire as a political and military power. The decline and fall of the Assyrian Empire were the result of a complex interplay of internal and external factors. The empire's overextension, economic strain, political instability, and environmental challenges weakened its foundations, while the rise of powerful external adversaries ultimately led to its collapse. The fall of the Assyrian Empire marked the end of an era and paved the way for the rise of new powers in the ancient Near East, such as the Babylonians and the Persians. The Anunnaki, a group of deities in ancient Mesopotamian religions, played a significant role in shaping the beliefs and culture of the Assyrians, who were one of the dominant civilizations of the ancient Near East. The connection between the Assyrians and the Anunnaki can be seen in various aspects of their society, including their religion, art, and literature. The Assyrian religion, like that of other Mesopotamian cultures, was deeply influenced by the worship of the Anunnaki. These gods and goddesses were believed to have created humanity and were responsible for the natural world, as well as for human society and its institutions. Key Anunnaki deities such as Enlil, Ea, and Anu were central to the Assyrians, and their worship was an essential part of religious life. Assyrian kings claimed to rule by the divine mandate of the Anunnaki, who were believed to have appointed them as their earthly representatives. This divine connection was used to legitimize the rule of the Assyrian kings and to justify their military conquests. Assyrian kings were often depicted in art and literature as receiving the blessing or guidance of the Anunnaki, further reinforcing the idea that their rule was divinely ordained. The influence of the Anunnaki can be seen in the art and iconography of the Assyrian Empire. Depictions of Anunnaki deities are found on Assyrian palace reliefs, sculptures, and other artifacts, often alongside images of the Assyrian king. The winged disc, a symbol associated with the sun god Shamash, another member of the Anunnaki, was a common motif in Assyrian art, and was often used as a symbol of divine protection and authority. The Anunnaki featured prominently in Assyrian literature and mythology, which was heavily influenced by earlier Sumerian and Akkadian sources. Stories of the Anunnaki, such as the Enuma Elish, the Babylonian creation myth, and the Epic of Gilgamesh, were known and revered by the Assyrians, who often incorporated these tales into their own literary works and inscriptions. As we delve into the intriguing world of the Assyrians, we find a civilization marked by exceptional achievements and indelible ties to the ancient Anunnaki deities. Their divine mandate provided a foundation for the Assyrian Empire's rise to prominence, fueling their military conquests and shaping their cultural expressions. Yet despite their numerous accomplishments, the Assyrians ultimately succumbed to a combination of internal and external pressures that led to their empire's decline and fall. I hope you enjoyed our video today. Stay tuned for more exciting developments, and let us know future suggestions in the comments down below.